guys, welcome back to the Anime Collector. So during Anime Expo, there were two premieres that I really wanted to get into that I wasn't able to. My Hero Academia on day 1 and Attack on Titan on day 4. But I forgot that they're showing it in theaters. And since Duo happens to live down the street from me, I'm going to pick him up so we can go see it today. He's bolting.
Hello.
Hey dude. As is customary in Arizona, I bring you a gift of ice water.
Thank you.
Alright, so going into Attack on Titan, we're seeing the Season 2 recap movie, and then we're going to see the first episode of Season 3, and we just happened to luck out and get the English dub date or whatever, which is great because I've watched the whole show dubbed. It's got a phenomenal dub. I definitely recommend it. But going into it, I think I have an idea of where it's going to go. I think that what Season 3 is going to encompass is either going to be the religion of the Wall, which I think Season 2 was supposed to be more about that, but they barely just scratched the surface, or the governmental corruption that Commander Irvin is going to start putting forth some sort of coup. So that's where I think it's going to go. But again, we're only seeing episode 1, so who can say? Anyway, do you have anything?
Obviously, seeing the third season's first episode like this early is kind of cool, you know, because it's like
it's not even aired in Japan yet.
Yes,
yeah.
You know, we just see it in theaters, you know, so that'll be pretty cool. I have not seen the dub at all, so transitioning is going to be a little exciting, because I'm not, like, I don't dislike dubs, it's just when you've watched something subbed for so long, and then you watch the dub, there's always that bit of moment where it's like, oh, yeah the voices.
I'll just say that, a lot of dubs, you can pick out a couple characters, you're like, God, I literally wish I could select, okay, I want this character to be voiced in English, this character to just be the Japanese voice. You know, that's yeah. I wish I could set that up. Whatever comes after Blu-ray, I hope that that's an option. Yeah. But with this one, I gotta say that there are no bad characters, and there are a couple phenomenal characters.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, we'll see you guys when we get out.
Huh. This might be good. Help yourself.
What the? Wait, what is this? I can't read a word of it.
So, yeah, the movie cut out a lot of stuff. The first 15 minutes, they may have cut out too much. Like, it was, so I had just talked up how great the dub is, and the first 15 minutes was awful.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was painful.
Harsh.
All the characters, I'm like, holy shit, I just put my reputation on the line for this. And then, at the point when Best Girl gives her impassioned speech to Smeagol, it all got better. So...
Oh, man. I like how... I know exactly what you're talking about. Mikasa was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, she was always kind of crazy in the first season, but there was this one shot where they get stuck between the Armored Titan's hands, and her eyes are just looking through it. She's not saying anything,
yeah.
And it's the creepiest thing I've ever seen.
But yeah, so it's nuts. They cut out a lot of stuff. Some stuff that they shouldn't have cut out because the story made less sense.
Yeah.
So one of the things they cut out that I was telling you about was that there's a part where in the movie version, all of a sudden, Ymir is back in Titan form and she just eats Krista. Like, she grabs her in her mouth. In the show, there's like a negotiation, like an actual negotiation regarding, look, I will go with you without struggling, and I'll help you get Eren out of here, but we're going back for Krista.
So at least I was able to follow that. But there's this line, like, right at the end of the film when she's like, well, it was nice being a god for 60 years. And I'm like, what?
That was the other part. What it was is that she said it was nice being a goddess while it lasted or something like that. And there's another line that you're confusing it with where she mentioned that she was out behind the wall for 60 years.
Okay, sorry.
So I had told them during the credits, because we had to wait through 2 separate sets of credits before Season 3's premiere. I was explaining to Duo that... In the anime, there's a whole plot point about Ymir, who she was actually like found by this church cult, and they worshipped her, like they made her the the object of deification in the church or something like that. And then I was surprised you were on board, because I didn't know where I felt about
The Titan controlling thing.
yeah. What did they call it? They called it coordinate.
Yeah, the coordinate.
The coordinate. I don't know how on board I am with that. And then there's also this is weird. So we're now branching from season 2 to the premiere of season 3. It's kind of weird because there's a time skip.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it also feels like it wasn't a time skip. And
Like-
then when you first see Aaron at the beginning, you see him basically from behind, and he's talking about how Armin had always told him about this place called the Sea, and he always wondered what's beyond it. And his hair is really freaking long, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, that's definitely like 30-year-old Aaron or something, right? He's definitely much older. And then when you see Aaron again and all the other characters, their faces look different, but they don't look that much older. And Aaron's
Yeah.
hair was short, and then it sounded like time hadn't passed between the stuff, maybe a month or two.
Yeah, like a little bit of time.
But not like years. And then it just became confusing. So I'm not quite sure how, like, they don't even tell you how many years have passed. I don't remember there being like a
didn't
thing
say
popping up
anything.
saying like, hey, this is how much time has passed. Which, by the way, in the movie, they were very particular, like, yeah, by the way, 12 hours earlier. They just kept jumping back and forth, and it's like, it felt like, remember I said that the whole thing in the first 15 minutes? One of the things that made it feel like it was going really, really fast is that it's like, okay, establishing shot, wall trust, and then it's like one quick scene, establishing shot. It's like it kept going and going and going, all these different things, and it was really bizarre just how much they really crammed in there. But like I said, it hits its stride. They cut out the entire part about them going around the entirety of the wall looking for stuff.
And they cut out the snow episode entirely, basically.
Yeah.
Besides like one offhand line.
They didn't need it.
Yeah, it was pointless. But
They didn't need it. I don't want to say it was a filler episode, but that was handled with just the one line. you know?
that was fun.
So going into season 3, here's the thing. I was telling you that there's some bits in the OVAs that explain a little bit about what's going on. Right at the end of the first episode of season 3, Levi basically gets ambushed by...
Was it like Kenny the Killer?
Kenny the Killer or something like that, yeah. Which sounds like a creepy pasta or whatever.
Yeah, it does.
Title. But, so those guys showed up, and you noticed that they were using things that were similar to...
Yeah, they looked very similar to the three-dimensional
the
maneuvering
ODM, right? So, what they were using in the OVAs, we learned that... Remember how in season 1... they tried to get Annie to go into... They tried to get her underground when they were getting Aaron out of the custody. Like when they had used Jean the first time as the disguise, and they had tried to get her down there, and then she refused to go down, and she turned into the female Titan again. They were going down to a place that Armin had talked about being a failed project of underground cities or something like that. Levi is from one of those cities.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so he grew up in this underground city, and there's like a toll that you have to pay to see the surface. And conditions down there are really shitty. And Levi is, I mean, he's an Ackerman like Mikasa, so they are distant relatives. And basically, if you're an Ackerman, it just means you're a badass and good at everything, right? That's just how that bloodline is. And he hires a team of people who, like, they steal, and one of the really valuable contraband is ODM gear, right? And in fact, there's an episode where not the main team, but like one of the sub teams, they actually witness the transfer of like somebody is literally selling ODM gear to somebody, and he's like, that's government property, and he stands up and gets his butt kicked. But yeah, so that's kind of a thing, is that there's actually like this, as an established part of the lore, there is actually a major component to the ODM gear being in the hands of criminals, right? Now the difference though is that Levi said he grew up with him. What did he say? He was raised by him?
He said he was with him or whatever. Like he was.
Well, in the OVA, he has a friend that he's with, and then there's this girl who gets kind of under their wing. because she gets chased by these guys for not paying the toll because a bird had flown down to the underground city and she was trying to release it back on the surface, and she couldn't pay it, so she was trying to sneak by. So they chased her, and then Levi, like literally, the guy goes up to get the girl, and he goes and he touches Levi on the shoulder like, hey, don't worry about it, I'll just take her out of your hands. And then Levi cuts his hand because he's like a germaphobe.
Yeah.
Like, don't touch me, get your filthy hands off me. So he cuts the guy's hand, and what's funny is that these guys know where he lives, and it's like they never established the fact whether or not they tried to come back and wreak hell, like commit arson or something, do something on it. But basically they take the girl under his wing, and then they get really good. There are some incredible shots where they use the ODM gear in a city, like inside the buildings. They're literally going in and out of windows. It's insane. But eventually at the end of it, Commander Irvin takes Levi because he shows so much promise. And basically his comrades get killed fighting Titans. Levi goes berserk, and that's basically where he gets into the beginning of the actual series. It's like why he's Captain Levi and everything. So basically the premise of season 3 so far is that Eren still can't get back into his Titan form.
Yeah,
correctly.
Something
it
wrong.
kind of is like in Dragon Ball when they do the fusion dance wrong. And he's not quite right,
Yeah, he's incapable of moving, and even like when they pull his body out and his face is all distorted, it was like,
his face literally got ripped off.
Yeah, it was horrible. That was really gross, actually.
That was a great line when Levi was pointing out everything that was wrong, and he's like, well, it's still not right. The body's deformed. It doesn't have muscles everywhere, and Eren's scrawny ass is hanging out.
Yeah. That's the thing is, the entire episode was just like way more comedy focused, which was really weird after the end of the movie, where it was just really serious for an hour straight, and then it was like, Sasha's stealing bread, and it's just like all goofy, and it's just like, what?
But yeah, there was they killed Pastor Nick, and Levi had pointed out, he asked Hanji how many of his fingernails had they pulled out, and she said, I didn't get a good look, but all the ones I saw were missing the nail bed. And he said, good, that means he didn't talk. If somebody's going to talk, they'll talk after the first one. There's no point after, after that. If you can get through the pain of the first one, you're not going to break by the last one, So he said that means they don't know that we know about Krista, right? What happens though is that they still need to get Krista, or Historia. So turns out that the military police of one of the inner districts was actually responsible for killing Pastor Nick, and they were after Krista and Eren, and they used the same sort of technique they used in the first season, where Jean is the decoy for Eren, and poor Armin was the decoy for Krista. So they get kidnapped, and then they're like tied up, and some drunk pervy guy is feeling up Armin, and he's like, "Oh, you like that? How's that feel, girl?"
Why don't you moan for me?
Yeah.
And I'm just, it was horrible.
Poor Armin.
That was like,
Jean's like, "This is why I didn't want to do this again. I don't want to have to put up with this shit."
And then freaking, even when they were on the roof, Mikasa's like, Armin's being fondled. She's like, even she was bothered by it.
She said he's being pawed at.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I'm like, just playing down the situation. I mean, he was being full on groped.
Oh yeah, it was horrible. Oh man.
Yeah. So anyway, Levi leaves them because he notices that it's a bunch of amateurs. These are not professional kidnappers or whatever, right? And so he goes on to where the wagon is that actually has Eren and Krista in it. And then he gets ambushed by Kenny the Killer and his crew of like what felt like 100 people.
Yeah, there was a lot of people.
There was a lot of people there. And both of his two closest like comrades in that area get their heads blown off by Kenny's little pipe gun thing. And then the episode ended.
Yes.
And everybody went, oh!
I just think it was just a funny episode, weirdly, even though what was happening was kind of screwed up, but at least,
It's funny because I had speculated going in that it was either going to continue the religion thing or it was going to go into a coup against the government. And ironically, it's like, well, Pastor Nick's dead. That's like the first thing that happens. It's like, I don't know if they're going to go so far into the religion thing. And yeah, I guess they're the ones on defense now, not on attack. So
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. Unfortunately for me, I probably won't watch it until it gets released on Blu-ray over
Yeah,
here.
which could be like forever away,
Yeah, forever.
honestly.
There'll probably be another Attack on Titan Junior High before I get to see it.
Oh, jeez. I want to point out, the Colossal Titan, they used CG,
Yeah.
but they still had the outline, and so it looked really horrible the
Yeah.
whole time.
All of a sudden it feels like, oh, we're in the trailer for a video game, you know?
Yeah.
And then sucks you right out of the
Oh yeah,
experience.
it was really jarring.
Yeah.
I genuinely was sitting there, and I'm like, am I the only one to see it? Like, is nobody else noticing how bad this
Well,
looks?
what's funny is that you got to see the condensed version. It goes on for a lot longer and is just, it's even cringier how much CG there is in the actual thing. But yeah, that's the only real downside to it. I'm really happy that Aaron is not CG yet.
Oh yeah.
Like they've really taken their care to draw him well.
To be fair, I feel like they used CG for like one scene when he was transforming into the Titan, like the first time.
Oh
like,
god, that is such a great scene though when he's fighting the armored Titan and he throws the punch. That's such a great scene.
Yeah, I really liked that one. But like, to be fair, I just liked most of the scenes in general. When he was fighting the armored Titan, the screaming he was doing was really great.
Yeah.
And it's like my favorite scene though that wasn't involving Mikasa in the same way was pretty much like right at the end when Aaron's just like sitting there. The Titan who killed his mom is about to punch him, and he just does that, and I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
How? You know.
Well, keep in mind, remember we learned from Hanji that Titans are extremely light.
Yeah. Also, she was going in for a kiss and
Yeah.
he didn't do it, and I don't know why that bothered me so much.
It seemed even more like a kiss than the first time I watched it too, because like the pacing is all over the place in that recap movie, but in the show it's like it's much better, right? Obviously, because it's planned that way, and this way it's like, oh, we're gonna shoehorn it into a movie. But I don't remember it feeling that much like they were going in for a kiss in the show. But in the movie, it's like, yeah, that's definitely what's happening, or at least that's what she's doing.
At that point, I'm like, oh man, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And it's like, that or she's gonna die. One
Yeah.
of those two things is gonna happen, and neither
Yeah.
of them happened. But I would have been really unhappy if Mikasa had died right there, though. Especially
Yeah.
since she's the best character in the entire cast in terms of strength. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even know if Levi is better than her.
Levi is definitely better than her if you've seen the movies.
Really?
Like, oh my god.
Because like in
yes.
the anime, there's never really like whenever Levi's fought, like he's either done it really quickly or he's like screwed something up. Whereas
Yeah.
Mikasa never
Well,
loses. ever.
let's point out that Levi twisted his ankle, and I'm sorry, but if there is a time skip between season 2 and season 3, that ankle's taking a long time to heal. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
She's like, "How's your ankle?" I was like, "I'll be okay." It's like, what has it been, like 7 years? You know? Oh my god!
It's just screwed up forever.
Yeah, so I don't know, and it's her fault. It's Mikasa's fault that his ankle's screwed up.
I guess so, but you know, I'm not gonna blame her for it. You know,
Okay.
because she's still my favorite character in
Yeah.
the entire cast because she's just the most unpredictable.
I just love how Aaron is, from birth, this crazy psychopath.
Oh yeah.
Literally kills people to save Mikasa. You know,
Oh man.
like, this world is rotten. You know.
Yeah, Aaron's just like hilarious. There's a scene when he's like, "Oh no, dude, I won't fight." I'm like,
Oh god.
"You're gonna fight!" And so he just knocks him on the ground, starts hitting him with these nubs.
Die!
Yeah, with his nubs because he didn't have arms at the time. So he's just hitting him with nubs, and it's just like, Aaron, stop.
The show very much is like a zombie show, like Walking Dead, right?
Yeah.
In the sense that there's like this unknown threat, and they could be around the corner and stuff. And they also made Cabaneri the Iron Fortress, which is basically Attack on Titan with zombies. But just like Walking Dead, as the seasons progress, it's less about the initial threat. It's like, we know how to handle these guys. Now it's about the politics of living in the walls. Now it's about this religion, this cult. Now, you know, so I'm looking forward to seeing where they take it, because it's really hard to start with the Titan premise and continue to make the non-Titan threats even more interesting. You know what I mean? And it's crazy because it seems like Levi's invincible until his crew gets taken out by guns. You know, and then you're like, oh shit, yeah, you've got bladed weapon. How's this gonna work? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then end of episode. But anyway, so I think it's about time we wrap this up. So you hadn't seen the rest of season 2. You want to give us your what do you think? You recommend it? You think people should check it out dubbed or?
Well, yeah, I'd say firstly, yes, watch the show. Secondly, yeah, I'd say the dub is pretty good. I actually might like it better than the sub personally. Except for the first 15 minutes of the movie, that could have been a little better. But
just for the record, the actual season is solid all the way through.
Yeah. So, it's like, I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to enjoy it, because I did just stop watching the second season, so I didn't really know if it was going to be much of interest. And I was kind of just surprised by how much crazier it got after the Colossal Titan got Eren. It's just like, after that point, it's like, oh, I thought the movie would just kind of end sooner after that, but it's like, no, there was a lot more stuff that just kept happening. So yeah, I'd recommend it, and I mean, if you're gonna watch the third season's first episode, I'm assuming you've been watching the second season, why not?
Might as well continue, right? All right. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoy Attack on Titan, and we'll see you next time. Take it easy.
See ya.
And oh, good, I was recording.